Welcome back to Cryptid Signals. Tonight, we're not here to laugh, we're not here to roast, we're here to listen to the past, to the stories carved into American soil, where screams and whispers never really faded.
4 stories, 4 places soaked in fear, tragedy, and mystery. The Bell Witch of Tennessee, the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts, the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana, and Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia.
These aren't just ghost tales, they're accounts pulled from journals, court records, and eyewitness testimony. They're places you can still walk today, if you dare.
And here's the deal, listeners. As we tell these stories, we want you in on it. Would you go there? Should I go there? With cameras rolling? If you've been, tell us what happened. Comment below, because your story might make it into the next episode.
All right, lights off, volume up. Let's step into the dark. Adams, Tennessee. The year is 1817. The Bell family lived on 320 acres of farmland, quiet and prosperous. John Bell, his wife Lucy, and their children worked the land. They prayed in church on Sundays, ate together at long wooden tables, and slept beneath roofs they built with their own hands.
Life was ordinary until John Bell saw something impossible.
Yes. Walking the fields one afternoon, John spotted a creature along the fence line. Some described it later as part dog, part rabbit, with piercing eyes that glowed like embers. He raised his rifle. The thing vanished before he pulled the trigger.
That was the first crack in reality, because after that, the Bell farm was never quiet again.
At night, the scratching began. At first it was faint, claws on the walls, something rustling under the floorboards. But it grew, louder. Closer furniture scraped across the floor. Doors slammed on their own.
And then came the whispers. The family would lie in bed, holding their breath, as a woman's voice muttered in the dark. At first, no words they could understand. But then, clear as day, mocking prayers, reciting Bible verses backwards, even calling their names.
Neighbors thought the Bells had gone mad, but when they came to witness, they heard it too. Eyewitnesses swore the voice rang out, bold and defiant, saying she was Kate, the Bell Witch.
And she hated John Bell with every fiber of her being.
Her fury didn't stop there. She tormented the children, especially young Betsy Bell. Eyewitnesses described Betsy being slapped by invisible hands, her hair yanked violently until she cried. Bruises appeared on her arms overnight. One neighbor swore he saw her lifted and thrown by something no one could see.
And this wasn't whispered rumor. Crowds came to the Bell house just to hear it. Imagine sitting in that small wooden cabin while a voice floats out of the darkness, quoting entire sermons word for word, or singing hymns in a woman's voice that no one could trace.
She even revealed secrets, things spoken miles away, private prayers, family gossip whispered behind closed doors. The witch repeated them perfectly. No trick could explain it.
Then came Andrew Jackson, not some farmhand, the war hero, soon to be President of the United States. He rode in with men to investigate. They brought wagons, ready to camp for the night.
But the closer they came, the stranger it grew. Horses froze in place, their eyes wild. Wagon wheels locked without reason. Soldiers shouted, claiming invisible hands tugged their bridles, yanked their rifles away. One man said he was slapped so hard across the face his cheeks swelled red.
Andrew Jackson didn't stay till morning. He left, shaken, saying he'd rather fight the British again than the Bell Witch.
The haunting continued for years. John Bell grew weaker, plagued by illness. Then one morning they found a vial of strange black liquid near his bed. No doctor could explain it. The voice announced proudly she had poisoned him.
When John Bell died in December 1820, the witch's laughter echoed through the house. Eyewitnesses swore they heard her sing as the funeral was held.
And she didn't stop. Travelers passing through Adams reported hearing shrill laughter in the woods, voices calling their names. Some said the land itself felt cursed, heavy with something ancient.
Even today, the Bell Witch Cave is infamous. Visitors describe whispers, sudden cold, scratches appearing on their skin. Paranormal teams have recorded disembodied voices screaming, "Get out!" Some who taunt her leave with nightmares for weeks.
So what do you believe? Was the Bell Witch a restless spirit, a demon, or something born of the land itself?
Here's the bigger question. Should I go? Should I step into the Bell Witch cave at night, lights out, camera rolling, and see if the voice still answers?
Imagine that. Darkness so thick you can't see your hand. The only sound, a laugh that hasn't faded in 200 years. Would you dare stand there?
Tell us in the comments. And if you've been to the Bell Witch cave yourself, drop your story, because this one isn't finished.
From one cursed farm to a whole town consumed by fear. Salem Village, a Puritan settlement surrounded by dark woods, bound by strict faith and a constant fear of the devil. Life here was about discipline, obedience, and suspicion of anything beyond Scripture. But in January of that year, two young girls shattered that fragile order.
Abigail Williams, age 11, and Betty Paris, age 9. They began to convulse. They screamed, threw themselves into fits, claimed invisible hands pinched and bit them.
The doctor found no illness. The minister declared it witchcraft, and that single word, witchcraft, ignited the town like dry tinder.
More children claimed afflictions. They writhed, barked like dogs, shouted that women in town appeared to them in spectral form. And the accusations spread.
Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and a slave named Tituba were the first accused. They were interrogated for days. Tituba confessed under pressure, saying the devil had come to her, that a coven existed in Salem.
That confession sealed the town's fate. Suddenly, neighbors pointed at neighbors. Husbands accused wives. Entire families turned on each other. Fear devoured reason.
Court records show the chaos. One child cried out, "She pinches me, she bites me," while an accused woman stood helpless before the judges. Others swore they saw shadowy shapes hovering above the defendants, or black dogs at their feet.
And the judges believed it. They accepted spectral evidence, the word of the afflicted, claiming invisible spirits tormented them. Evidence that today would be laughed out of any court. But in 1692, it condemned lives.
19 people hanged, 14 women, 5 men, and one, Giles Corey, pressed to death beneath heavy stones. Witnesses swore his final words were defiance, more weight.
Imagine that. Lying in the dirt, chest breaking under stone after stone, refusing to give in.
Salem was drenched in paranoia, entire families destroyed, farms abandoned, the town scarred by betrayal.
And those scars never healed.
Today, Salem is a tourist destination, but beneath the storefronts and museums, the weight of the trials lingers. At Gallows Hill, visitors describe sudden choking sensations as though a rope tightens around their throats. Paranormal investigators have recorded whispers, voices begging for mercy, calling names no one present knows.
At the Witch House, the former home of Judge Jonathan Corwin, footsteps echo across wooden floors when the building is empty. Shadows drift across rooms. Cold spots bloom in corners. Tourists report leaving with headaches, chest pains, or the sense that something followed them home.
Even skeptics admit Salem feels heavy, not just from history, but from something that clings.
So what do you think? Was Salem nothing more than hysteria? People whipped into frenzy? Or did something darker take root there? Something that demanded blood and still walks those streets?
Should we go? Should we stand on Gallows Hill at midnight, cameras rolling, to see if the condemned still whisper their last words?
Would you want to hear their voices, or would you rather not know what listens in Salem's darkness? Comment below.
From the cold winds of Massachusetts to the heavy heat of Louisiana, St. Francisville, Louisiana, the Myrtles plantation rises among oak trees draped in Spanish moss. Beautiful at first glance, but beneath the charm, one of the most haunted homes in America.
Its legends are many, but the most infamous is Chloe, an enslaved woman owned by Clark and Sarah Woodruff. Chloe was caught listening at doors. As punishment, they cut off her ear.
Desperate to regain favor, Chloe baked a cake laced with oleander, a deadly poison. But instead of forgiveness, she killed Sarah and 2 of the children.
The other slaves hanged her. Some say they threw her body into the Mississippi, but her spirit never left.
Visitors describe a woman in a green turban drifting through doorways. In one famous photograph, a figure stands between two buildings in broad daylight. Experts analyzed it, not a trick of light. A woman in 19th century dress, her face turned.
And she's not the only one. Civil War soldiers ransacked the plantation, leaving blood in the floorboards. Guests today report shadows of men in uniform, rifles slung, pacing the grounds.
Inside, mirrors are said to trap souls. Guests have seen pale faces staring back, lips moving silently. Paranormal teams recorded whispers and French Creole prayers.
One guest wrote in the logbook, "I felt someone grab my hand as I slept. When I opened my eyes, a girl in period dress stood at my bed, and then she vanished."
The Myrtles isn't just haunted by Chloe's story, it's layered. A native burial site beneath, tragedies during the Civil War, the cruelty of slavery itself. Every wall holds memory.
Should we spend the night inside? Cameras rolling, lights off, waiting in front of those mirrors.
Would you stare into the glass knowing something might stare back? Comment below. And if you've been to the Myrtles, tell us what you saw.
From the moss of Louisiana to the stone walls of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia builds a prison like no other, Eastern State Penitentiary. Not just to punish, but to crush the human spirit with silence.
Prisoners locked in solitary, hoods covering their heads. No talking, no faces, just endless silence.
But silence drove them mad. Men clawed at walls. Some begged for death. Thousands wasted away inside.
And when the prison closed in 1971, the echoes didn't stop. Paranormal investigators call it one of the most haunted sites in America.
Cell Block 12, screams echo in the dark. Cell Block 4, shadows dart across walls. Visitors collapse, gasping for breath.
On the guard tower, a figure stares down. Motionless, cold, not human anymore.
Death row is the worst. People swear, unseen hands press on their chests until they can't breathe. Recordings capture voices crying, "Let me out."
Even Al Capone claimed he was haunted here by the ghost of a man named Jimmy. He begged guards to protect him from the whispering voice.
Eastern State was built for justice. Instead, it became a tomb of suffering. And suffering leaves echoes.
Should we walk into death row? Lights out, cameras rolling, waiting for silence to scream.
Drop your thoughts in the comments, because if you want it, we'll go. The Bell Witch, Salem, the Myrtles, Eastern State, 4 scars of American history.
Each one dripping with fear, pain, and unanswered questions.
So tell us, which one chills you the most? Which one should we visit first?
History doesn't stay dead. It lingers. And if you listen close, it listens back.